All right, so you ready for callers?
I sure am.
We're going to talk to Faith in Florida. Hello,
Hello?
Faith? Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I'm down here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how's the weather down there? Because it's really cold over here.
Oh, it's just beautiful. We're in Central
Well, good
Florida,
for you.
and the nice thing is we moved from Chicago, and up in Chicago, the skies are gray up in the north like that. Whereas down here, it's almost always sunny and blue skies and sun is shining.
All right. Well, lucky you.
Yeah, I know.
What's up today?
Yeah, I've been dialoguing with a dear friend of mine for over a year now. He's a atheist. He was raised a very strong Catholic, and I'm a very strong Catholic, getting stronger as I get older. I have a real problem with how atheists deal with miracles, things which absolutely the Catholic Church has. For instance, there are hundreds of ones that they have.
Okay. Like what miracles?
There is the one of the host that was taken and it was bleeding. There just on and on. Even all the miracles in the Bible.
Well,
too, Like
see, I mean, the reason I'm asking you for specific ones is that because when you say in the abstract there are hundreds and hundreds of miracles, that's all very interesting that, the Catholic Church, which has a vested interest in making people believe in miracles, has decided that these miracles are genuine. But, I mean, don't you think, Tracie, it's a lot more interesting to delve into individual miracles and see what's going on?
Such as Fatima, yeah.
Yeah, because you can't really say, how do you account for miracles in general without identifying some in particular and being certain that they're really miracles?
Yeah, But okay, why don't we just assume that there are things that are absolutely non-explainable?
Why would we?
No, I mean if you start with if you have hundreds of samples and maybe you'll cast out one or here or there that you can figure out.
Well, do you believe in Muslim miracles?
In what?
In Muslim miracles, do you believe that the Prophet Muhammad was alleged to have done a lot of amazing? So you believe in Islam?
I believe that God can create miracles, and it doesn't have to necessarily be in Christian or Jewish settings.
Okay. I mean, we don't start with that assumption. So I mean, you're gonna bypass that and say, well, some of these miracles definitely have to be true, and I'm not because
we would have to see the one that's true.
Okay. Well, I'd have to get you get some good research on that because I went to see a display of about 250 miracles that from the thousands from all the ones from the Catholic Church, from the Vatican.
Okay,
and,
well, the display itself certainly wasn't a miracle,
Well, I mean,
right?
here, my point would be, though, when you do look it up, be sure to look up the rebuttals, because there will be rebuttals to all of these. So when you look it up, look up the counter to this, because there will be people saying this fails as a miracle because, and giving an explanation.
Right.
And if someone presents us with that, obviously we're going to have to research it, and that's what we're going to be presenting. So rather than just a back and forth of they said this and the response to it is that.
Yeah, I think that's what needs to be done. Yeah, is to get do it like that too. I think that's a good point.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that you wanted to tell us that there were hundreds of miracles, but didn't have a single one ready. I think what would be great would be.
She's describing one.
There are ones where the host became actual heart muscle and things like that. So it's really there's a lot of. There are a lot of them. I just don't have the. I was just talking in general terms. I didn't have the.
Well, like, how was that verified? Were they sent in for a DNA sample or something?
They were tested to find that they actually were heart muscle.
By whom?
So, I don't have that at my at my fingertips right now.
Yeah, we could move on to another topic. It would be good if you would call back another week with some details.
Yeah, I can't. This is the only time I could call. I got a substitute for work. But anyway, I wanted to ask you too, how do you account for the sudden appearance of matter 13.7 billion years ago?
That is not what the science says.
Oh, what does the science say? That's what I heard. The Big Bang was 13.7 billion. Isn't that the number?
No,
what's the number? I don't know.
13.7 billion years ago, but I think you haven't quite read up enough on what the Big Bang actually says. Do you want to put in anything, or should I keep going?
Well, my rudimentary understanding of it, actually, this is a physics question and should be posed to physicists, not atheists.
Right.
But that being said, my rudimentary understanding is that there's very little that can be said about what happened prior to the Big Bang. So the idea that matter suddenly appeared, I don't know would correctly frame it. I, again, would be happy to ask a physicist, but I think the prior to the Big Bang, I don't know that there's too much that can be said, and to say that matter just suddenly appeared, I don't know is quite an accurate summation.
The theory of the Big Bang starts with all the matter in the universe being condensed into basically a nearly infinitely small dense point. I mean, I say nearly because although the physics is really solid about what happens back to that 13.7 billion years ago, like within a tiny, tiny fraction of a second before that happened, physics is so fundamentally different under those conditions that it's difficult to say what happened before. It could have been.
I feel a little weird answering this, though, because this is a question. If somebody wants to know what physicists have to say about how the universe came to exist in this current form, that should be posed to a physicist. I don't know why that would be posed to an atheist. I mean, it's not an atheist theory.
Because my feeling is that the beauty of how the universe was set up, the laws of gravity that were, if it had been a tiny bit the other one way or the other, we would have had smashed together or not have anything. Could
it be any other way?
It just seems to me that it just makes common sense that the universe the always existing mind that was there that created the universe.
The problem, though, is that now we have to demonstrate there's an all-existing mind. Otherwise, we can't proceed with what it created or how it created it or what it did. And so,
well, I mean, I'll accept that he created matter and then evolution.
Well,
That's not the problem.
No. The problem is that in order to say that this intelligent mind is doing things, we have to demonstrate it exists, because things that don't exist don't cause other things. So but you're ignoring the fact that he revealed himself some 6,000 years ago, started revealing himself over thousands of years to the Jewish people. I don't believe that that's true. I think that
Why don't you believe that?
Because they're stories. There's no evidence to support it. It's just stories. There's a lot of mythologies all around the world. I don't believe they're all true. Why would I?
But the thing is that this was over thousands of years that he revealed himself.
Sure, and before that, there were a bunch of Greek gods coming down. Before that, there were. Excuse me. Hey. No, I'm putting you on hold if you can't stop. Before that.
Oh, she's having trouble
hearing. I can't hear you.
Sorry. Before that, there were a bunch of Greek gods walking around who came down from Mount Olympus, but you don't believe any of that, right? I mean, there are a lot of stories about those Greek gods.
Yeah, I mean, Greek mythology didn't just exist for like a week.
Yeah.
It was around for a while, and so
I taught Greek mythology. Okay. I know it.
Okay, but you don't believe any of it.
Do you believe the gods fought?
But I think that right from the beginning, people sensed that there was something beyond them, because the heavens alone let us know that there was a God.
People's feelings are not evidence. The way people feel is not evidence. I might feel my husband is totally faithful and he could be completely cheating on me. My feelings are not evidence.
Why do you always make that your
example?
Because
it's a very easy one for people to understand.
You're very suspicious, Tracie. No, Tracie's husband is a great guy, by the way. I met him.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. He seems like a nice person. I've listened to your shows. Normally, I'm playing the organ at Mass at this time, and so this is the only time I really had a
So how people feel really isn't evidence. It's just how people feel, and feelings can be incorrect.
No, but I'm saying that all of these mythologies point to the fact that people have always felt there was something beyond them.
The people that made the mythologies and the people that adhere to the mythologies, but those that didn't. I mean, this is, the feelings are not necessarily, first of all, feelings are not necessarily correct, but second of all, what we think is causing those feelings is not necessarily what we think is causing those feelings. And again, if we're going to say X is causing these feelings, that there really is something and that's what causes these feelings, we now have to demonstrate that what we think is the cause actually exists. Otherwise, it cannot be the cause.
Yeah.
So to make a reasonable assertion that God is causing these feelings, we have to demonstrate there is an existent God. So it's sort of begging the question to say we have these feelings because of God and that's proof of God. It's like, well, but we still have to prove there's a God. Otherwise, that's not what's causing these feelings.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you discount all the Jewish history.
I don't discount all their history. Yeah, Russell was raised Jewish, but I don't. Yeah. I'm simply saying that I don't believe mythologies as reality.
And I don't like you to call it mythology.
There is,
but it is a mythology. I mean, there's no evidence that it's not a mythology. It's one of many. There are all of these stories about gods. There's mythologies from the Nordic peoples. There's mythologies from Australian natives. There's mythologies, and this is all their. They all have creation stories. They all have. These similar sorts of tales about how do we count for things and how do we tell the way things are. Paul Bunyan dragged his axe and made the Grand Canyon. I mean, you're always going to have these hero and God stories.
Yeah. And you don't buy the idea of there being a spirit, a mind that always existed that created.
I need some evidence for that.
Yeah, there's no evidence for that.
Well, I don't see how you account for it. That's the thing. If there isn't a mind that created matter,
well, we don't know that a mind could create matter. We would have to find the mind, examine the mind, and see if it then could create the matter.
The thing is that we know about minds through our experience with other minds, which by all accounts and by the things we can see, minds are the end result of something that exists in a matter medium, our brains, and are the end result of a long process of evolution. We don't actually have direct experience with something which is some kind of spiritual, ethereal mind. To say that the universe, which is plenty complicated, had to be created by a prior existing mind, which, as far as we know, only comes from universes and not the other way around, is kind of a backwards way to go about solving the problem.
To say that there was a spirit, I mean, because most of matter is air anyway. So it's interesting.
Air doesn't create universes.
No, but the most real thing about a person, I think, is their personality and their spirit.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what a spirit is. Can you explain what a spirit is?
It's the personality, all that kind of thing.
A personality?
Which comes from a mind, which resides in the brain.
You understand that if your brain gets damaged, your personality can change, right? So
but you're getting mixed up in the same way as we can't understand how a bat operates because we're not bats, we're people, and we can't.
We do understand how bats operate.
You can't really understand how they use. Are
you asking what it is like to be a bat?
Well, we use
That's
our own.
What I mean.
We do use radar. We have recreated radar and sonar. I mean, we do understand it. We can actually manufacture it.
But you never experienced being a bat.
What does that matter? The bat doesn't experience being me. I don't experience being an iPad.
A lot of the things you're talking about God are really you're just talking from the human standpoint because you don't know.
Well, neither do you. You don't know either.
I know, but someday I hope to.
But you're claiming. I mean, you're the one making the claim here, and so if we're both saying we don't know, I'm asking you. Then why are you claiming this? I mean, I don't understand how. When someone says to me, "You don't know," and I'm like, "Well, I don't see how you know either." But you're the one making the claim. Hello? Did we lose
Hello?
the caller?
Are you still there? Oh.
I think we lost that call, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
it wasn't a bad call.
Could have stuck
Well,
around
I
with Faith for
apologize
a long
that the
time.
call seems
Faith, call back next week. Bring us your favorite miracle, and we'll talk about that. Really.